The Iowa caucuses are upon us. And Monday, as the first primary contest takes place, jaws are dropping because the frontrunner isn't one of these sexy centrists favored by the DNC, but an elderly socialist from Vermont who's technically not even a Democrat, but a registered independent.
Can't imagine any woman watching last night and saying, I believe Bernie. I think people believe Elizabeth.
Running Bernie Sanders against Trump would be an act of insanity.
So to have him just flat out say no, I think wasn't nearly enough to address that for the women watching.
Bernie can't win.
According to the New York Times, Bernie Sanders is surging ahead because he has an enthusiastic base of supporters who are attracted to his left-of-center agenda.
Mr. Sanders' endurance and his apparent rise in the earliest primary and caucus states reflects both the loyalty of his core supporters and their conviction that Mr. Sanders would bring the same fighting resilience to the general election. Even now, as Mr. Sanders takes a lead in the first two early states, his opponents have not delivered a sustained argument against his candidacy and remain reluctant to take him on.
Bernie Sanders describes himself as a democratic socialist, and socialism is supposed to be a dirty word in the United States, but not so much anymore. Polls show that younger people are not so hostile to the term and are far more critical of free market policies and austerity. CNN is certainly no fan of Bernie Sanders. A paid contributor is even happy to admit it.
I hope that my network's clear bias against Bernie Sanders will convince citizens of all ideologies that corporate media figures overwhelmingly forsake journalism in favor of blatant activism.
Oddly, President Trump has had mixed things to say about the frontrunner in the rival party.
I wish Bernie well. It'll be interesting to see how he does. I think what happened to Bernie maybe was not so nice. I think he was taken advantage of. He ran great 4 years ago, and he was not treated with respect by Clinton.
Those wounds from 2016 are certainly open and sore among Bernie's core supporters. Leaked emails revealed that the DNC was working overtime to deprive him of the nomination. It's not just those mainstream TV networks or the leaders of the Democratic Party. This former assistant director of the FBI actually admitted that for years, this federal agency actually worked to keep people like Bernie Sanders from taking office.
The electorate in some places is putting more and more progressives and self-described socialists in positions. One of the missions of the FBI in its counterintelligence efforts was to try and keep these people out of government.
He wasn't joking either. The FBI's COINTELPRO program worked to isolate left-wing groups and keep them from gaining any influence. One radical group called the Socialist Workers' Party actually sued the FBI and spent a decade in court proving that their rights were violated. Court proceedings revealed that the FBI had planted fake news stories, infiltrated the organization, broken into offices, and even had members arrested on false charges, all in the hopes of weakening the socialists at the ballot box. Bernie Sanders was at one point a registered elector for the Socialist Workers' Party. He campaigned for them amid the harassment and legal battles, so it's pretty safe to say the FBI has been on to him for some time. With so much working against him, Bernie Sanders seems to be pulling ahead, getting more donations than any other candidate. And his rallies are packed full of young people who are attracted to his message of canceling student debt and guaranteeing health care. With the 2020 primaries in full swing, many observers are asking themselves, can Bernie Sanders really pull this off? Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.